Hello all and welcome back to High Ridge Farm with me, the Walrus. We're in our last 3 days here on High Ridge Farm before the change of seasons to the summer. And I'm painfully aware that a large number of my crops will be destroyed by the change of season. At least I've got one giant cauliflower. Hooray. Although, unfortunately, the Junimo are too small to harvest it, which I guess is kind of a good thing, because I don't think I'd really enjoy seeing a bunch of Junimo equipped with axes or pickaxes chopping up a giant cauliflower. Again, as you can see, I'm mercilessly abusing the very potent and very damn useful abilities of the Iridian Scythe again, because my goodness, does it make my life so much easier. Let's just chop that up and assist the Junimo a little bit, because goodness knows, they definitely need it. Okay, what else can we do? Well, we're gathering large quantities of resources ready for the day, and, well, I'm just clearing out stuff. I think that's really what I can say, that's my main aim at the moment, is to just clear out stuff. One of the things I am going to be doing is making sure that I have everything in preparation so that I can complete a floor 100 of Skull Caves without having to eat anything, because that's one of the tasks that Mr. Key has set for me this week, and I feel like getting some more key gems, although I do feel that it might be a bit of a moot point considering I don't need to really worry about it so much right now, especially since that I actually do have, well, I think more than enough key gems for the time being. But, you know, that's me having a good old think on that side there. But all the same, we've got stuff to figure out and think about at the moment. Let's sort ourselves out here. Right. Well, looks like nothing's available in the preserving shed for today. That's fine. It's not really the end of the world. What other things do we have around and about that we can use, though? I think if there's nothing available in the preserve sheds, that'll probably mean that there won't be anything available in the wine and juice shed. I don't know really if that's a better... I need a better name for the sheds. That's what I need. I wonder if I should make some signs, as I do have that ability. Also, I'm curious to see if the signs actually generate in the same way that the signs that have been placed when Pam goes off whilst you're trying to go to the desert. I have a feeling that actually you do get some you get the text dialogue just popping up on screen, which is nice and all, and I wonder if you actually get that if you try by making the sign and input the data to have on the sign. I'm kind of curious to see if that actually is the case. Okay, so there's our task, though. Get down to floor 100. I don't think that's going to be astronomically difficult to do, but it is a thing. Well, that's just kind of what we're going to go for, isn't it? And let's have a quick look and see what other things that we can do. Well, we've got lots of mayonnaise to sort out. That's fine. But I wonder what we can do otherwise. I mean, I guess that's kind of what I'm sort of thinking about is there anything else that we need to sort out before we go and delve into Skull Caves? Because, of course, Skull Caverns is an important and useful thing to sort out. We do need to go down there and visit all of the horrors that are down there. I think really it's going to be helpful to me because I need a lot more iron. I don't actually have that much of it, and it does worry me that I don't have anywhere near as much as I'd like, which, you know, that's sort of alarming, I guess. I mean, I know I'm being I'm not sure if that's an alarming statement, but I do need to sort that out. All the same, we've got a few things that we do actually need to organise today, as we have a few horrible things to deal with, and some of it is an an abundance of resources. Now I'm kind of wondering what other things that we are going to be able to see moving forward with the next season, because we haven't really looked at what could happen during the summer. And I am innately curious, because, I mean, I'm assuming something exciting will probably happen. We've got lots more interesting stuff, and then, of course, we've got all the new, what are they called? Thingies? Events, there we go. The events and other such things that are going to happen, such as we've got the luau again this year to sort out. And there are now achievements based upon the luau as well. So, delighting the governor. Now, of course, I'm going to easily... Well, I feel like I'll easily bypass that because I'll just put in a decent quality wine into it or something. Because I'm feeling lazy. I mean, there are quite a few things that you can use as an answer to that. But I've got to remember what they are. I think that's the question, isn't it? What other things can I put in? We'll have to have a look and see. Now, one of the big things I wanted to make sure I had before I went delving into the Skull Caves is I wanted to make sure that I actually did have some luck-generating food. So I needed to make sure I had access to some more lucky eel. And I should probably have made some ginger ale, because ginger ale is not like it's it's not a particularly difficult thing to obtain, honestly. I've got lots of ginger beer, sorry. I have lots of ginger, which, of course, is a key component of it. But, yeah, should have checked to see. Not entirely sure, though. But yeah, that's kind of what I should have done. But anyway, we're delving deep in the mines, as we've got quite a few different things that we need to sort out. And yeah, it's not like it's too difficult to do while we're here. I mean, come on, it's not like it's something I haven't done before. And I'm curious to see if anything else that appears in Skull Caves is a thing now, like such as, I mean, are they going to be different? I mean, I know there's not new enemies at the moment, but are there going to be a few other differences? Like, I mean, we've got all these trinkets that are appearing at the moment, and I wonder if I can find a few different new ones, because I'm sure there are more than just the couple that I've found so far. I mean, one would assume that there are a few, and whether I'm correct, that's a different question. I'm kind of hoping there are quite a few more different ones. Just don't know what they are. Or what they will be. I think that's the other question, isn't it? What shiny trinkets could there be? What could they do? We'll have to see, though. Because, again, I don't know. I'm kind of hoping there's something interesting. As, don't really know what other things that we can sort of say there are. But, anyway. The arrows themselves are doing, from the quiver, are doing their general good work as they would. I mean, you'd expect that to be the case. They are a very effective way of dealing with stuff. And I'm very pleased with them and their abilities. Because why wouldn't I be? I mean, I know that sounds very silly. But there are a few times where I've gone, ooh, it would be nice if I had an item XYZ. And to be fair, being able to just block off my enemy entirely, yeah, I can deal with that. Makes my life so much easier. And it's the knockback, really, that I think is the thing that makes me really pleased with the quiver, because it just keeps the enemies at bay, which is a bit of a godsend, really. And I don't have to worry about it so much, which I know might sound a bit ridiculous, but I do enjoy not having to worry as much. But of course, there are a few other things that I can do, and that I'm not saying that I need to worry about. But, like, the frog. Now, I know I did my little I did a YouTube short on that a little while ago about how the frogs are adorable, which they are, and I very much like frogs. But they are slow, I think is probably the best way of describing them. They're good, but they don't work quite as efficiently or as quickly as the very potent, I would personally view them as particularly potent, the arrow, the quiver, because it's just fantastically helpful, because it just knocks the enemy back, keeps them away, and that's good, I think, because then we don't have to worry about it. And I think that's really what we can just say to this, really, is being able to knock our enemies back and not have to worry about them is, well, a lot better. But I do wonder what other trinkets there are and what other effects they're going to have, as I am going to try using all of the trinkets I physically can. Of course, as you can see, when it locks onto the nearest enemy, which is how this one works, it does have a few problems in that it's going to target an enemy that it physically can't hurt, which is a little annoying. Not really the end of the world, it's just somewhat frustrating, because it would be nice if it could target an enemy and actually hurt it, but c'est la vie. Although I know that I could change one of my weapons to actually hurt the bugs, and I've just not, which I guess is my own fault on that one. I mean, it's not too difficult to do if I really felt inclined to do so, but I quite like the vampiric hammer that I'm using at the moment, because the vampirism, especially right now, doing this particular thing of trying to get up to floor 100 with no healing, well, no healing from food, I think is probably the better way of describing it. It is kind of important to have that option and ability to not worry about it. So let's just quickly delve down a little bit further. Now, I'm hoping that I can get to floor 100 today. I know that it's not it's not impossible to do, and it's something I've definitely done a few times. Well, I've definitely done a few times before, because, well, of course I have. I know I have. It's just how this works. It's not impossible to do. But I also know that I have a habit of wasting time, and that is something I am desperately trying to work on, is my inability to be sensible and not delve as deep into the mines as possible. And goodness gracious, everybody knows that I would be, well, I would be the dwarves who end up waking up the Balrog because I delve too deep. I'm the one who will just keep going and going, I've made a mistake. And yes, I will awaken the Balrog. Hopefully that doesn't actually happen in real life, because, well, if I'm the downfall of the entirety of civilization because I woke up the Balrog, apologies. But anyway, general silliness aside, these damn dinosaurs need to go away, because they are quite annoying. And yeah, I need them to buzz off, because duh. Thankfully the dinosaur's not exactly difficult to deal with. Honestly, they hit reasonably hard, but not like absurdly so. So they're not too much of a worry for me at the moment. I can't deny I'm a little bit frustrated with some of them sometimes, but they're not really too much of a pickle. Okay, let's see what else comes through here. Well, these mummies are being quite annoying, but again, they don't really hit as hard as I would fear they would. What I'm looking for really are just lots of slimes, because the slimes themselves are annoying, but they do give me a lot of opportunities for healing, because they can't hurt me because of the slime charmer ring, and with the vampiric nature of one of the rings that I don't even think I'm actually wearing the vampiric ring. That was stupid of me to not grab that. I think I've got the dust sprite, the burglar's ring. I really should have been carrying that cursed ring, shouldn't I? Oh, that would have been sensible. However, me and sensibility isn't something that I'm very well known for. My idiocy is unfortunately well known. But it's not the end of the world. I'll deal with it. But either way, I still have the ability to vampirically kill stuff and gather resources, blah, 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 and get health off of stuff. So it's not really too bad, but yes, I know I've been a little bit foolish, I think is probably the nicest way of putting it, because I could have just had more heals going. But hey, I'm still blitzing my way through stuff, and that's kind of important for me. Now, I know I've mentioned it previously, I just absolutely detest these particular floors, because they just slow me down so much. I think that's my issue with them, is that they're just so antagonizingly difficult to deal with because of how slow I end up. I don't like it. It's annoying. But hey-ho, that's literally how this works. There's not much else that I can say or do about it, but hey. It's still very annoying. Okay, well, that needs to go away. Well, those bats are rather frustrating, aren't they? They do a little bit and just annoying, but they're not that bad. It's the serpents, that's the big issue. And I know I've seen a few people online where they've had terrible luck, where they've just been swarmed by the blasted things. I do feel bad for those who ended up with that happening, where you just end up with like a million of the little blighters just swarming you, just trying to bring you down, which is very annoying because they are incredibly frustrating to deal with. It's their high speed, I think that's the issue, and their high damage. That is something I'm quite surprised about, though, is that there were no... I haven't seen any new enemy types that were introduced in, like, with the 1.6 update, and I'm kind of curious whether that was something that Curious Ape was potentially looking at doing. I think it would be interesting to add a couple more enemies. I mean, I'm not expecting it, but maybe something new and shiny. We might still see it going forward. We've still got a little way off, and I believe Curious Ape has still said that there's still more stuff that we'd like to work on and go through, so hey, we'll see. I'm hoping there is something new and interesting relating to that, because I would like to see more enemies. Maybe, I mean, I know they're pretty squidgy and not really it's not really a dungeon crawler game, but I think that's the problem, is maybe it's a personal thing, is I do tend to play a lot of roguelikes, so maybe I think it's just that part of me that's talking, but you know, something with a little twist, nothing complex and awful, just, you know, something different. That'd be nice. But hey, man can dream. Man can dream. So yeah. Anyway, let's keep on going through. I mean, we're on floor 78. It's just coming up to midnight, so we're doing all right, I think. I feel that that's a thing we can say, is we were doing okay. Let's see how well we can do, though. I mean, I hope we can get through this. Floor 80. I should probably have made a bunch of these cursed ladders, shouldn't I? To allow myself to just be lazy and just poodle my way down through the floors. Because I know what's going to happen. I'm definitely going to encounter a few bits where I'm going to get stuck, aren't I? And that's going to cause me some grief. Because, yeah, there's going to be some time when I'm going to end up just stuffed because I've got a lack of things that I can do. So, I'm going to have to look at that. Okay, well, that's a lot of diamonds out of a single rock. I wonder if that was multiplied because of the mining bonus that I've got from the mastery. And perhaps maybe also from the dwarves stone not the dwarves stone, sorry, but the dwarves thing that gives me the book that I purchased that gives me an opportunity to get diamonds from any stone that I break. I mean, maybe that'd be kind of cool if that is the case. Awesome if that is the case, actually, to be fair, because I do enjoy getting many free gems, because, well, I say free gems, but you know, I enjoy getting many gemstones. Okay, right, so floor 94, can I make it out of here? with enough time? I'm not sure. It's... Oh, this is getting a little bit nerve-wracking is probably the best way of putting it. Let's have a look. But hey, that's kind of what we're looking at here. Well, we've still got many things to do and many ways that we can sort of accomplish what we're trying to do. Floor 96. I think I'm going to have to... Oh, I've got 10 minutes. I've got to bounce. Yeah, no, I can't risk it. I don't have enough, really, to try it. So that's disappointing. But I guess I'm just going to have to live with it. That's annoying. So I passed out on the floor. Fine. I'll deal with that. Thankfully, hopefully my good wife will, you know, pick me up off the floor and be like, Walrus, you are indeed an idiot. Hello, child with the mummy mask. Your father's a moron. Please be aware that I am. My apologies that you have indeed inherited my bloodline, because you are also a moron, as opposed to a more-off. I'm going to stop there before I start being particularly dad-jokey, which is something that for somebody who doesn't have children, I do tell an awful lot of dad jokes. And that does alarm me somewhat, because all of my friends who do have children, shockingly enough, do tell a lot of dad jokes. I hope they don't know something I don't. But all the same, dad jokes aside, let's keep going. Now, I'm going to put these shoes away. I mean, the genie shoes were quite a nice little find, actually. Like, the immunity's good and all, but they're not great for me, because they're just... The defense is low. And the Cinder Clown shoes do give a similar amount of bonus to immunity. I mean, not as much, no, but it's still it's near enough, and I'm not going to worry about it. Right now, at least. Because I think that's really what I'm kind of looking at is it close enough to where I am or not? Of course, the other thing I'm looking at here is I've got certain amounts of jade. Now, which of course one of my lovely viewers did mention is of course incredibly useful for working your way further down in the caves, Skull Caverns, because there is the opportunity of gathering for oneself the staircases from the Desert Trader. Unfortunately, I've totally forgotten what day of the week the Desert Trader actually offers the exchange of 1 jade for a staircase. All the same, when I do figure it out, or remember, or it's more to the point, less remember, more find out by sheer fluke and accident, then, and only then, will I go back to the Desert Trader and hand that over to them. But for now, we're going to work our way through a good chunk of Saturday, as I still need to gather a lot more of the resources that are lying around on the ground. I need to restore a little bit of the energy before I try delving myself into the dungeon again, because shockingly enough, I don't really want to be dealing with a low energy, because chances are what would happen is... Actually, I don't know. I know I've got the... It's not efficiency that I have on my pickaxe, but it is speed. Oh my goodness, look at all the pickles. Well, it looks like we're going to be sorting this mess out first, because yes indeed we will. I'm not upset about that in any way, shape or form. I do enjoy when I have lots of pickles and preserves to deal with, because that is some stacks of money. Now, I really do need to be less concerned about cash, I think, at the moment, because right now, it's not as much of an issue, because I've got the money, I've got the ability to purchase anything I want. I just don't, I need to be a bit more careful, I think is probably one way of putting it, because I don't need to worry as much. Which might sound a little bit silly, but I actually need to try and feel like I kind of need to try and be a bit more speedy with getting through to the later seasons, because I think I've experienced everything so far this season, within the spring season at least, that is new, and I do want to experience all the new stuff within the summer and the fall or autumn and the winter. I have seen there is a new seed available for the winter specifically, and I'm very curious to see what that's like. The powder melon. And that's something that I've noticed with the raccoons, because of course their shop is now available to me. And I know it's not much, but it is something that's kind of useful if I wanted to trade through to gather some extra gubbins. And of course, now having the increased likelihood of getting mixed seeds when I scythe the grass down, that's really helpful. Also, I wonder if, I mean, I'm thinking about it. Would mixed seeds, well, they're not a crop. I was trying to figure out if in my head that whether if the mixed seed bundle, if you planted it during the winter, if it would only grow the powder melon. But, well, I don't know. Mixed seeds can certainly grow parsnips and stuff, can't they? I mean, I've not seen any carrots as part of mixed seeds, but not like I've expressly checked to see. That's going to be a test, isn't it? I'm going to have to test that and find out, because I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping that is the case, because that'd be interesting if that is. Because then I could just use mixed seeds to grow these powder melons to begin with. But I know that there are other ways of getting the seeds, of course. And that's just how this goes. But I'm very curious to see if that is the case. I'm going to have to try. Genuinely, I'm just going to have to try. I need to know. But, oh well. That's just how this is going right now. Anyway, so let's put some pineapple in there to be dehydrated and turned into something a bit more valuable. What I do need to do is actually do a proper test and see how much is the increase of value for the for dehydrated versus put into as a preserve. So I think I'd like to try that out actually and see if there was a, I wonder if I do have a test option for trying that out. Actually, to sort of like see what's more valuable, and actually giving like a full breakdown on value of this is the value of this turned into wine. I think if I used a star fruit as a good example for that, or pineapple, because that's valuable as a wine, it's valuable as a preserve. Probably better to turn it into wine rather than as a preserve, but it would be good to know. I like whether the dehydrator drying them out, is it worth 5 of the preserves? Because I don't know. And I'd like to, though. I also need to remember to actually do this, because I've mentioned this before, and in my usual manner, I will say something and then forget to do it. Because unfortunately, that is indeed how my brain works. I go, oh, that'd be a great idea to think through, and then just forget. Which, you know, I do definitely feel stupid for. I mean, there's not much I can do about that, is there, unfortunately. It's unfortunately how my brain does, and I can't help it. Right. Rambling aside, and let's just distribute all my gubbins. I should probably make a few more bombs at some point, because bombs are going to be helpful to me, I think. I mean, I've got quite a few bombs, but I'm always going to need more. I mean, there's one. I mean, again, I know it's not much, but it's one extra bomb. Yeah, let's make a bunch of... See, look at this. I don't have much in the way of either gold or iron ore, and I really do need more of it. And I think that's a thing that is perfectly reasonable that I need to kind of figure out. Well, not a huge amount I can do about it, but it's just going to be how it goes, isn't it? Yeah, let's look this through. Okay, so I got some summer squash seeds, so they must be the new summer seed for like the what's it call it, the carrot. Which, again, I know I've mentioned previously, I was genuinely surprised wasn't in the game earlier. Because, yeah, it's a carrot. It's kind of a very ubiquitous vegetable. I would have expected it earlier in the game. So, it's nice that it's also a spring crop, in the same as, like, the parsnip. Because, I mean, I think they're related, as family of veg goes. I mean, one would assume that they're related in the same family, but I could be wrong. I mean, again, wouldn't be the first time. So yeah, let's sort of like this, see this one through at least. Okay, so I needed to quickly just delve back for a moment to gather a bit more in the way of food intake, because what I'd forgotten to do was take a bite before it began, and that was dumb. Because, of course, if I don't stock up on the food immediately, then, of course, it's not going to be there for me, is it? And I think that's the thing with this, is if I don't eat, well, I need to be able to eat, don't I? Going forwards. Well, I can't eat from, I can't eat things now. I think is probably the best way of putting it. I can't eat food so that I can actually obtain the achievement. Well, I say achievement, but, you know, get through this as is requested by Mr. Key, which is fine. It's just annoying. But if I forget to do so, well, that's very stupid. And I'd like to have that there, please, and thank you, because that way I can actually do things, and that's kind of what I'm after. So yeah, let's see if we can get our way through this. Now, let's go down. Again, I'm trying to be sensible and trying to do this as quickly as possible. And again, I know that's difficult for me, as has been mentioned previously. The idea of me doing a speed run of something would be entertaining. I don't know what, though. I think that's kind of an issue I have, is I don't really know what would be a good one to try, in all honesty, because I'm so scatterbrained at the best of times that something silly would be entertaining, I definitely would agree, but what game would be good? I know there are a few that I could do, like some of the roguelites, like the Binding of Isaac, because I know that does have a thing that gives you a boost to speed running and being quick, based on certain things. But also, I know I'm just inherently bad at being fast, so I don't know what. Hey, I'm sure I'll come to that bridge when it comes to it. And it'll be very silly when I do figure it out. Well, when I figure out what would be good to do. So, we'll see. We'll see. And unless somebody else comes up with a good idea, then please do tell me. But for now, I'm just going to stick with that idea right now, at least. Because I'm not entirely sure what other things I could do for a speedrun. And there are some games that I just don't think really fit the speedrun idea. But I'm doing okay, I think, at trying to get down in here as fast as possible. I mean, I'm not super struggling for time, and I did nearly get to floor 100 yesterday, and I know I wasn't really going as fast as I probably could or should, which, again, perfectly fine. Right, so let's murderize these things, because they need to just go away. Again, not too difficult to deal with, but they do need to go away. Okay, we've got more of a hostile floor again, but this time we have Stegosaurus things, which do need to just go away. Again, they're not too difficult to deal with, it's just they take up time. And I think that's the issue with these sorts of floors, is I should really, if I have the opportunity, I should have, well, been a bit more sensible and just cleared them out regardless by skipping. That would have been way, 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 way more sensible, I think. But that's just how this goes. I wasn't being sensible and I didn't really think about it. And that's kind of my own fault on that one, I think, sadly. So yes, that's it's going to be a thing that I need to kind of work out and think about as we go through this. Are there any other different ways that I could try to improve the speed and efficiency of my runs? Now, of course, I've been trying to increase my luck stat as part of these attempts. It's generally been pretty good, to be fair. And with the increased luck given from the using the key seasoning on the spicy eel, because that's absolutely fantastically useful. It does mean that I do have a good speed boost from that when it comes to, like, from the luck side, which again, very, very handy. And I think that's kind of the best thing I can say on this one, isn't it? I need a greater luck, but now, oh, I'm trying to drink that coffee. It's not even letting me. That's interesting. I hadn't thought that would be a thing. I mean, that's interesting and actually kind of nice that it does. It knows that you're trying to do that and then just prevents you from, you know, screwing yourself over. But I guess also could be bad because you might go, I really need to eat something and I have no option to do so. Not full on, I have no mouth, but I must scream. But it could be that sort of idea. That is a very strange scenario, at least, anyway. So, let's keep on going. Well, we're on floor 53 already, and it's only 9 o'clock. So, it's feeling a little bit more optimistic than yesterday, which I was being... Well, I still got reasonably far down. It was just, unfortunately, it got later than I would have liked. I think it's probably the best way of describing it, because, well, it's always later than you'd like. It always is. There's never a... Oh, look, this is the time I'd like it to be. It's always, always just an annoyance. Which is a shame, in all honesty. Because it would be great if there were more opportunities for time to be paused, such as in real life. Because, my goodness, if I could pause real life while I'm trying to do all of this, goodness, that would be great. I'd be able to just not worry about it. I'd be able to kind of... Well, I'm just trying to think, honestly. Be able to figure out a good way of doing things. Like, the stuff that I'm honestly trying to do. Like, I mean, at the moment I'm trying to study for a particular course. And it would be nice if I could, you know, not have to worry about it as much. I guess is probably one way of putting it. Because if I could... well, if I could do the studying and not actually invest any time, like by pausing the time for it, that'd be so good. It's, you know, just trying to further a bit of my qualifications and such at the moment, and it is an uphill battle, because it's trying to juggle the mixture of time, because I've got day job, night job, doing all of this, and then I'm trying to do this course. So it's a lot, which is, again, I know, totally understandable and perfectly reasonable, because I'm doing things that are all good and all, but goodness gracious. But my goodness, if I could have an opportunity to just pause time to do all that studying, oh, that'd be great. I think that's also another thing, though, is I fear with my ADD I would just become Turbo Lord Procrastinate. Because I know I could just sit there and just do nothing for a number of hours, which would be really, really not clever. And that would be bad. But I know that that would happen. I think that's the issue, is I know full well that would happen. I'm sure anyone else might be the same. well. Right. So let's see what other gubbins we can actually sort out while we're here. Well, again, we've got huge amounts of that aquamarine. That's just such a silly large amount. I mean, I never would have expected to see so much of it. I mean, it's nice, but why am I getting 4? Is that must be because of the mining mastery. I'm gonna have to check that out because I'm very curious to see now. I mean, not a bad thing, just curious. Which I guess is a perfectly reasonable thing to be a lot of the time. Okay, fairy box. So that heals. Now that's a level 2 trinket. Now, I think that there is a... I mean, I wonder how high I could... If I re-roll it, I'm assuming I'll re-roll the level of the trinket. And I wonder how high I can get it. I mean, as well, the other thing I've got at the moment is now that I've got this there, I guess. I mean, this fairy's going to be really handy. Imagine getting that earlier on and actually just using the fairy to heal myself during this. I mean, that would mean vampiric weapons aren't quite as important. I mean, they're still good, but they're not as critically needed, I think, is probably the best way of describing it. Which is good and all. But hey, that's how this goes. If I don't need it, I don't need it. And that's perfectly fine by me. Because that's just what we want. We want life to be easier and, well, get everything sorted. So we didn't get as far as I would have liked that time. Not the end of the world, but we did get the fairy relics. So I'm going to have to re-roll them a couple of times, I think, tomorrow morning, just to try and see how high a level we can actually get them to. Because my curiosity is very much piqued on this one. And, well, it could be good. We might end up with something really useful. But we got 2 more the golden crackers, which, I mean, that's really good. Because that's 2 chickens, well, golden chickens, probably more specifically, doubling their egg output. Because that's just how this works. Because that's, of course, I'm going to do that. I think that's the best way of doing things. And we'll put the summer squash in there, because that's where it belongs. Because it's a summer crop, and I wonder if the summer squash is a constant producer, like it's like the beans and such. Well, that's the end of the day. So I'm going to try again and get further down in Skull Caves. I think that's going to be really the best plan of what am I going to do today. I mean, there's not really much else that I can do, is there? I mean, if I'm very honest about it, there's not a huge amount to do. At least with, well, it's the final day of the season and there's not really much else I can do other than harvest the crops that are not broken per se and kind of aim for the best, I guess. Well, hello child. Let's see with your mummy mask. It's ridiculous. And absolutely fantastic. I'm glad you're enjoying your life, you strange child. I mean, I feel a little bit mean being like that. I put the mummy mask and the key, like that weird cat mask, on my children. But hey, they're related to the walrus, and at the moment I don't have a walrus head, and that is something I would very much like to be able to do. I'll see if I can try and wrangle trying to design that as a thing, because I think it'd be a fun, stupid but fun piece of headgear or some other. Unfortunately, I'm painfully aware that my ability to do stuff like that is, well, not there. I definitely don't have the capability, unfortunately. Which, you know, that's fine and all, but I just don't have the ability to do so. C'est la vie. Right, so we've got lots of crops to harvest today. So let's just quickly get all this garlic up. That's fine. Because that's something that we need to sort out. Is all this fluid garlic. And I guess the question is, what am I going to do with it all? I mean, obviously I'm going to try and do stuff as much as I can. But what? I mean, I might need some of it. I mean, I think I can use it to turn into garlic oil, can't I, for some of it? But is that really that useful right now? Maybe. I guess is the question. Is it that useful to me right away? I'm not sure. But, hey, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see if there's anything else that I can actually wrangle whilst we're trying to do things. Well, we've got all this lovely cauliflower, which is good. And I mean, the cauliflower is great and all, but it's not super worrying as a thing. Like, it's going to give me some value right away. There's not much else I can say about that. Is there anything else that I can do here? Well, it's only 9:10, so I'm wondering if there's any opportunity for more random shenanigans at this time and place. Because, of course, there's always an opportunity for random shenanigans. And there must be some option to do something, I guess. I mean, one would assume, and kind of hope at least. Well, I'm not sure. In all honesty, I mean, there must be something I can do with these fairy boxes. But what? Well, I'm going to grab some more of these because, of course, the iridium bars are going to be very helpful to me. Okay, that's that. That's fine and all. What now? Well, I'm going to sell the iridium quality crops because, yeah, that's just how I'm rolling at the moment. I don't need to worry about those. Now, the golden crackers I'm going to feed to golden chickens because I think that's the most sensible option. And you know what? I'm going to eat one of these brown mushrooms. The common mushroom, just because I think that's probably the best plan at this point. Just because it'll give me a decent amount of... Well, I feel like it'll give me a decent amount of energy. And, you know, it's given me a little bit, not like a silly amount, but it's given me some, which is good. I mean, that's kind of the way, isn't it? Now, the cauliflower and I'm going to go and take down to the pickling shed because that's really where we're rolling for that. I mean, where else would I go with it? To be fair. There's nowhere else really to take stuff to in that regard. And that's fine. Okay, so what level fairy box have we got here? Let's have a quick look and see. Because that's an important question. Well, that's looking a lot better, isn't it? A tier 3 one. Well, I mean, it might go up to tier 4. I don't know. So, it's very much I'd like to find out how high it can go. So, maybe I'll use the tier 2 one that I currently have and just keep re-rolling it. I mean, that kind of feels like a good idea. Until I obtain either the... well, I might figure out what's the best. Goodness knows, though. Goodness knows. I know very well that I might be being a little bit, not melodramatic, but a bit ridiculously over the top with my attempts to try to find out how good I can get it. But I think that's perfectly reasonable in the grand scheme of things. Because why would I not want to know how effective I can make something whilst I do things? But that's just, you know, how we're going today. So let's see what we can do. We've still got a few more things to try and figure out today. Right. What else can we try and wrangle? I think that's the next question, isn't it? What other things can we try and be clever with? Well, that's a lot of eggs that are all well and good, which is fab and all. And that's kind of what we need. Lots and lots of eggs. It would be nice if the fairy could also restore your energy. Okay, well, you've already had one, so that's fine. I know I want to give all of the animals... Eventually, I want to give all of the animals these crackers, because doubling their output... I mean, obviously, it doesn't work on the pig, but being able to double their output is... I mean, that's a big boost to production, really, isn't it? When you look at the amount of stuff that you can generate with all of the different animals, it's pretty phenomenal. And I'm definitely not upset about doubling up on resources. I mean, who would be? But the fact that the golden chickens lay eggs every day, we get 2 of them every day, and we get... I mean... Oh, I do need to go and visit Mayor Lewis's house, because I've done that blasted task now with all the eggs. Actually thinking about it. But that's the thing is, like, golden chickens' eggs giving us that boost with what with us being given what are they called? I mean the giving 3 golden mayonnaise. It's per egg. It's great. And we don't have to worry about it all. That's silly good money. So that means that each chicken is giving us 6 golden mayonnaise every day. And yeah. Ooh, ice rod. Well, that's another new one. I've not seen that one before. I mean, that's kind of cool. Being able to freeze an enemy in place is kind of nice. I'm gonna try it out, I think, at some point, but not immediately. I don't think that's gonna be the plan that I can deal with, because, you know, I've got the fairy right now that I'm using, and well, the fairy is keeping me alive. With undeniably, that's the thing that's keeping me alive at this point. So, but I am going to try that at some point. I'd be genuinely curious to see what it does. Well, there's a lot more stone. I guess I could also use that to try and create more ladders down. I think that's really the best thing I can do with it. And I don't think of anything else that I can do with it, really, at least. But that's the thing is, I know I've got quite a lot of other resources. Like, I've got loads of stone, I've got loads of wood. Don't really need to worry about everything else right now. It's just, yeah, meh. We'll figure it out. I'm sure something good will happen. And something good will be figured out, I guess, and I hope. What, though? Who knows? Okay, one can only hope. Well, we're on floor 12 already, and it's 250, so I'm kind of hoping we can manage to get through this as easily as possible. Still an opportunity to do so let's see. Still nothing sort of like giving me a really big idea of how we can get further down quickly. Nothing's giving me like this is how we can sort of wrangle it the best way possible. I wonder if there are other sneakier ways without using the ladders. Which I know it's not really, but it always does feel like it's cheating a little bit to me. But then again, I know I'm an idiot and I do like to make things harder for myself, which is my own stupid fault, I will freely admit. But that is kind of how I look at a lot of games, is I want to try and make it as not difficult as possible, but I know I force myself to suffer sometimes. There have been times when I played other games. I mean, heck, even when I played Pokemon, I made myself suffer a lot. Which I know might sound very silly, but I definitely made myself suffer because I didn't use rare candies. I would force myself, like, no. Rare candies are not the coward's way out, but it's the I'm not reusing rare candies, thank you very much. I'm doing things the way I want to do. And, yeah, I did a lot of dumb stuff. So, yeah, that's how that goes. Anyway, I'm going to detonate this large area of stuff here. That's fine and dandy. They all need to go away, though, now. That's fine. Okay, what other things have we got that's just in the way? Lots of enemies. That's fine. I mean, I know we're going to get loads of enemies as we rampage round this place. It's just a kind of a given, isn't it? I wonder what other things we can find as we delve deeper into the mines. Hopefully something useful. I mean, one can hope that we find something useful. It's a shame that we haven't got the... Mr. Key didn't give us this quest at the same time as we would have had during the festival. Because it would have been nice to have the bonuses being given from the statues. Because getting the full refresh and other things, that's really useful actually. Like, in honesty, it was an interesting twist. And of course, the idea of being able to get further down in the mines, definitely not something I would have been too upset about. So yeah. Okay, so we've got some more sprinklers. Well, we'll get rid of the algae. We don't need that right now. That's fine. Well, that's another dead creature. Let's put a bomb down there. We're at like floor 50-ish. Well, floor 49 to be specific, but it's nearly... Now we're on floor 50, but, you know, we're doing quite well, I feel, for where we're at. It could definitely be worse. And, yeah, it's going okay. But we still need to throw some more stuff away. I think that's an issue, isn't it? What else can we gather whilst we're delving deep in? Well, let's murderize these. Don't really need the frozen tear right now. Getting loads of slime, which, again, I've got oodles of the stuff. I don't need slime. I need something else. I need something more exciting. Come now. Give me something exciting. Which I know full well you're not going to get something exciting from these cursed creatures, the damn slimes. Ugh, this is taking its sweet time to get my way down. There we go. There's a way down. Let's see. Is there any way else I can bypass this? Because, again, get down there, the quicker the better. And what have we got? Well, again, we're just flattening our way through stuff. Nothing super major right now, but it's a thing. We're working our way through it. There's not much else I can say, is there? The fairy is surprisingly effective. Like, it's genuinely really, really good. Like, it's keeping me at pretty much full health. That's a reasonably good magic quiver. Because the fairy is keeping me at that really high health level, that's really good. I mean, I'm not too concerned about stuff, in honesty. Because, well, the enemies can't really... I mean, yes, I'm sure they could do a lot of damage and wipe me out, but I'm not as worried in the really grand scheme of things. Because with a combination of the vampiric weapon, the fairy healing me, and other general shenaniganry, I'm not doing too badly on the survival front, I don't think. Which, you know, that's nice. And there's not much else I can say on that front, but hey, it's not going badly. It's just a shame I obviously can't eat while I'm in here, which is, I mean, makes perfect sense considering the challenge requirement that has been set by Mr. Key. Frustrating odd sausage that he is. Right, so another ice rod trinket. Okay. Well, what are we going to do with that? Well, I would like to keep it and have that, so that's staying definitely. But what I'm going to do with it, goodness knows. Hopefully something clever. Well, hopefully I can figure out something vaguely clever that I can do. Yeah. I mean, with floor 64, it's going okay. We're on target, I think, time frame wise, which isn't too bad. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for, is that I can actually sort of get my way there as best as possible. I mean, I'm not expecting much in that regard, but, you know, I mean, I might make it. Oh, some more iridium bats. Okay, so I'm taking a lot of unnecessary damage there, which was very stupid of me in my general abilities. But I'm not feeling too bad, considering I'm getting healed up so quickly. It seems to be working out quite nicely for me, to be fair. So I'm not worried. I think that's the best way I can really describe it, is I'm just not worried about it all right now. Because the fairy is keeping me very well healed. So I would definitely say that the fairy is probably one of the best trinkets I've encountered at this point. I mean, I very much still like being able to do the absurd amount of damage I can with the quiver, but I mean, it's pretty damn good. Like when I'm genuinely thinking about it, I mean, it does a lot for me, especially in these sorts of runs. I think for general purpose, the quiver is probably better, but for when you're trying to do this challenge from key, yeah, this is way better. So at least this challenge has, in theory, gone a heck of a lot easier. Because I know that's something that some people have said that they find it difficult to do, this particular key challenge, because it's not easy, and I won't deny that. It's not the easiest to do, which is fair, because it genuinely isn't. And I think the biggest thing I can say from my personal experience is start earlier, because I know from where I've started quite late in the day most of the time when I've done this. I mean, I'm not that confident I'm actually going to manage it. Like, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, I'm probably going to fail it. Although, actually, I think this will be the first time I've actually achieved it for Mr. Key. If I do achieve it today. Because, yeah, there have been a couple of times it's been offered, but I don't think I've actually honestly achieved it. So this could be interesting. I mean, floor 83, what I'm really hoping for is a nice passageway down. But no luck there. And the thing that's really annoyed me is, I have that dwarf statue in my house. At no point did I try and use it on any of these 3 days that I've tried to do this. And my goodness, do I feel dumb as heck. Because I've not looked or tried to see if that can actually give me a bonus or a boost when there is that possibility of getting one, and I just feel very dumb knowing that I haven't tried. So, oops, is the short answer to that one. But for now, we're on floor 90. We still need 10 floors to go, and we have about an hour and a half of viable time that we can actually do this in. So, okay, 9 floors to go. Let's see if we can do it. Well, we've still got a few more to go. Let's kill these, put a bomb down. I don't know why I'm trying to kill the slimes. I don't need to worry about them. They can't hurt me. I can hurt them, but they can't hurt me. And, yeah, they're just a little bit annoying. And they need to go away. Okay, so that's fine. So I made a few ladders down because I'm just going to see if I can actually manage it. And I'm not expecting to at this point, but one can hope. Okay, so floor 92. Do I use one now? I'm debating it, considering where we are time frame wise. But okay, that seemed to work out okay. Let's put another bomb down there, see if we get something good. Okay, that's a hole. A hole, and it's floor 97. Yes! We've got it, we've got it, we've got it. Yes, 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 yes. I'm feeling very pleased with myself right now because that is beautiful. We've got down, we don't have to worry, we can teleport back home, we've done floor 100. Let's get out of here and go to bed. So, thank you all very much for tuning in with me this week. If you have enjoyed, please do like, share and subscribe. Comments are always appreciated. Big shout out goes to my patrons on Patreon. And hopefully I'll catch you all again the next time the Walrus plays Stardew Valley.